The stakes are higher than they've ever been. Have we been built to defend the Traveler? Have we been built to defend humanity? The Witness is going to bring all of that to the test.
What is that? How would we react if we were facing extinction? And how are we going to stand together to overcome this?
You know what must be done.
We were created for this moment, to deal with this conflict, to solve for this enemy.
What the hell happens when evil finally arrives and confronts the Traveler? The Traveler is threatened. The Witness is here. Callus's forces are here as well. The Pyramid fleet is here. Big shit is going down.
Lightfall should feel like you have stepped into the middle of an active war.
One of the values that we really wanted to push was making sure that you felt like the tip of the spear. You were the one who is initiating the action. You were the one who is taking control. You were the one who is attacking things. What this tone gave us the chance to do was to really surface the friendship, the camaraderie, the connections that we have to each other.
Kaido, we'll need your troops.
If the end of the universe is coming, what do we have left other than each other?
Keep the enemy away from the Traveler at all cost.
There's a pretty big, serious threat that is happening to the solar system. So we really wanted to bring that gravity and that weight into the story.
In a major way, what we're doing right now is we're both setting up the finale for the Light and Darkness saga. We're pulling the Witness into the frame for the first time.
The big question has been, what does it want with the Traveler? What will happen when it finds it? And in Lightfall, it does find it.
I feel like the Witness is so drastically different from any other antagonist that we've had in Destiny in the past. You know, a lot of our Destiny antagonists are like kind of over the top and theatrical in their own way. And then we have the Witness, who's just so reserved. It's all about control with the Witness.
The Witness is here to finish what the collapse started. Now, there's Callus, always been power hungry, in it for himself. He's now signed on as one of the Witness's disciples. We're seeing Callus go through a transformation and emerge as something new.
My semblance matches my inner beauty.
Odds are stacked against you. The Witness has arrived. We got Callus. Everything's under attack. How do we deal with this? And then you find this thread.
We knew we wanted to do another darkness power in Destiny. Are we going to do what everyone thinks we're going to do? Are we going to make like poison? No. We're going to do something that you'd only find in Destiny. We're going to go talk about this thing called Strand, and it's the web of life.
What does it mean to have a cosmic web that's connecting everything around you? How do you actually make that like an ability? How do you make that like a power? It's something that doesn't actually exist. You can't just point to fire, electricity, or ice. Coming up with the idea of the strings, the strands lighting up the world. I think that was when everything kind of started to come together.
Strand is unlike any of the powers that we've gotten before. We didn't get it from the Traveler. We didn't get it from the Pyramids. It is a power that we find is unlocked within us as Guardians. When you pull on that thread and you start manipulating that web, you can do some really powerful things.
We have some exciting player class fantasies coming up with Strand that we're introducing. So we have the Hunter Threadrunner, which is going to introduce this threaded spike.
The Hunter Super Silk Strike, it's this kind of rope dart. You're constantly moving, constantly attacking.
It feels fluid. It has an amazing style to it. It's just something we've never seen in Destiny before.
And then there's the Titan Berserker, and the name is pretty fitting.
The Titan Super is Blade Fury, where you weave these giant blades onto your hands. You have a melee attack that you can kind of combo indefinitely, and then you have your heavy attack, which sends out these suspending waves.
And then there's the Warlock Broodweaver, the mastermind of the minions that we call the Threadlings.
The Warlock Broodweaver Super is Needlestorm. You create 3 sources of power, and then those then get launched out, and then those fly through the air. When they hit an enemy, they'll explode. When they hit the ground, they will then charge up and then turn into threadlings. All the classes will have access to a grappling hook. When you select that, that takes up your grenade slot. It was a hard challenge because, like, how can you make this idea of swinging through the world equivalent to a grenade? And so designers came up with this idea of a grapple melee.
The grapple melee is incredibly powerful. I grapple onto an enemy, which stuns them for a second. And then when I get there, I grapple punch, blow them all up, and start shooting, and then the unravel projectiles are flying all over the place.
All that stuff coming together was magic for me. Oh my God, that's Destiny?
Neomuna has existed for hundreds of years. It branched off from Earth our collapse and shut off any communication. So they've been secretly existing on Neptune for a very long time and keeping themselves safe.
It was amazing to see how the concept artist made all of this beautiful art feel really fresh and new, but also a part of the Destiny universe.
When you think about how to design Neomuna, like what's the architecture like? We're thinking of a lot of aerodynamic things, fins and sailboats. That informs us sort of the architectural form language that kind of looks unlike anything we've ever seen before.
The high winds, strong pressure. We have that beach area where we show the sand is made out of diamonds. The whole terrain is following up into the beginning of the city. The color, the graphic design, the vibrancy, and yeah, there's some mysteries in there.
The cool thing about Neomuna is that it's like this big neon-soaked city, but it has quite a spectrum of different environments.
I think my favorite absolutely is the Thrillodrome. It is an arcade lost sector, and I think we can relate to spending our days in a sticky arcade playing games with our buddies.
I'm also so excited for people to see the puka pond with all of the pukas that have been like such a mystery since Beyond Light. And then on the other side of the city is Callus's ship. The Typhon Imperator has landed square in Ahimsa Park.
You see that the city is indeed kind of in shambles in parts. There's smoke, there's explosions in the air. And I just go back to the teamwork of everybody getting into a room and thinking like, what can we do to make this feel high octane, very explosive and familiar?
This is a city that needs the Guardians' help and needs their protection. And Callus is going to do his level best to destroy it. And we're not going to let them, and neither are the Cloud Striders.
There's a lot new about Lightfall. We have this new location, and it has these new personalities that come along with it. They're defenders of this city, and they have new perspectives that we really haven't seen in characters in Destiny, and that's taking the form of the Cloud Striders, Nimbus and Rohan.
I understand what's at stake, Lightbearer. Far better than you.
Rohan is the grizzled old veteran who's too old for this shit. And Nimbus is the young rookie. Nimbus is learning on the job.
Nimbus was definitely a favorite of ours to animate. They're so boisterous and fun-loving and a little smug, but super confident in their abilities.
The Cloud Striders, bottom line, are cool.
Nimbus, on your stakes!
We want the Tormentors to be the most scary unit that you've ever fought in the Destiny universe.
Holy crap, this combatant is very powerful. It means business.
It's incredibly intimidating. This thing wields a massive scythe, has command over all this void energy.
The Tormentor can like grab you and
That's something we'd never really done before with the boss.
Throws out the scythe, has the player in his hands.
And in those moments for Dark Harvest, we actually do things with audio to make it feel even more intimate, where we duck out all the background sound. So you really have this intimate moment with this terrifying creature grabbing you.
Lightfall and Season of Defiance are two sides of the Destiny coin. And so on the Lightfall side, we have crazy neon cities going on an adventure far away, sort of bombastic action fantasy. On the Season of Defiance side of the coin, it's a story that's much more closer to home.
Season of Defiance is about the ground war on Earth. Callus's forces are invading, and we're defending Earth. We're freeing prisoners.
Go now.
We're trying to protect the last city, but much more directly and under much more threat than we have seen in a long time.
You're working with Petra, you're working with Devram, you're working with all these people that you know that are close to home and that are battling for the real thing you're trying to save.
We have a lot of weapons and armor for players to earn, and I'm super excited to see what you've been working on.
We have a couple of strand exotics. The Warlocks are what's called Swarmers. They're these boots that will, on Tangled Destruction, create new threadlings at that location. Now they can either shoot it, or they can pick up a tangle and throw a tangle, and then that will also create threadlings. The hunters are getting this helmet that will help them grapple through the air. As you grapple, you gain this new ability called Woven Mail, and it's reducing the incoming damage except for headshots. The Titans get boots that will augment an aspect that they have. The aspect itself will just send out a wave that will suspend enemies in front of their barricade after casting it, but the boots will split it up into 3 waves. Whenever they spend an enemy with these boots on, they also gain Woven Mail. So pushing the front line further and further by being tanky.
I have been caught by those boots a couple times in our playtest. We have this incredibly cool heavy metal machine gun that fires according to its own rhythm, where it gets alternate effects every 4th bullet, and then every 16th bullet, it gets even more added to it. So we have this pistol that will use advanced technology to find your enemies. And so suddenly you're not worrying about aiming, you're really worrying about surviving during the lock-on time. And it opens you up to consider your movement more than your aiming. Being able to lock on to multiple guys in your field of vision and then just obliterate all of them was, I think, a moment where I kind of went, whoa.
We're introducing a ton of new features that are designed to make sure that the player experiences are as good as they can be.
I think one of the things we're most excited about are loadouts and what we're calling build crafting 2.0, which is the system of both, hey, let's make it more understandable to how you make a build. And then let's allow you to save that build and quickly swap between them.
When we started the process of figuring out how we are going to improve build crafting, one of the things that we knew we needed to do was make it easier to go from, I have never done any build crafting, to I'm really engaged in this system. When we engaged with the UI team and we said, we need to improve this experience, they came back with, well, what if we did a build management screen and let you see your whole build on one screen?
It's all in one place. You can see it, you can read it, you can learn. And that coupled with our Guardian ranks, that's going to come in and basically be our first ever companion to every single player.
Guardian ranks is our answer to what should I be doing in Destiny if I want to get better? You have this track that tells you what you should be doing. We're really excited for players to start diving into that system along with accommodations, a way to finally say thank you to players that you've been playing with. We think all of this stuff is coming together to bring this more cohesive relationship between our players. When we think about the future of Destiny, we think there's so much more to discover. We're just on the coast right now. We want to get into the heart of this continent.
we are walking to our 10-year anniversary of Destiny, and Destiny being such a core part of our players' lives. We just want to keep building Destiny.
We've been talking about this antagonist to the Traveler for so long. In Lightfall, we get to spend time with the Witness in a way that we haven't yet.
We're paying off storylines that have been coming together and been building for years.
More questions will certainly arise.
We have this finale with the final shape that's coming right after Lightfall, where we're closing down the Light and Darkness saga. But Destiny is far from over.
This universe is about more than the conflict between the Traveler and the Pyramids, and we want to show you new ways to explore it. We want to show you new things to discover in the universe, because we think that Destiny has a lot to offer, and Lightfall is the catalyst for that. It's high stakes, thrilling action, all at the same time, pushing the Destiny story to places it's never been before.
Well,
wow, that was a lot, actually.
That was a lot.
It was a lot of retread, but it's actually good because not everyone follows 500 streamers, and there actually, it's funny, there's a few of them that are working on putting a comprehensive list in order, because we've gotten a lot of things like all over the place, like this is coming at Lightfall, this is coming during Lightfall, this is coming after Lightfall, this is and it's like, yeah, all this stuff's coming, but like how spread out is it, what's going to happen? So yeah, once we get a comprehensive list of like what's going to, like when things land, and like when can we actually try them, and more realistically, when do they start debugging anything that doesn't work and fix, and like what if something breaks and then the raid can't happen because something is too easy, the raid is now delayed, which would be great because then it would be on a weekend and not a weekday, which is I understand work-life balance, but it happens once a year, give them a Monday off so they can do a raid on a Saturday or something. I don't know, but
there's a lot to unpack there for sure. First off, just want to welcome everybody, and you guys know me. My name is Tim. I'm alongside my co-host this morning, Dan. You may recognize him from the chat from Monday's show, but we just wanted to kind of break down everything we saw, and there is a lot to break down there. Dan and I are longtime Destiny players, the OGs from the early days, and for better or for worse. So yeah, let's jump right into it here. You want to start off?
Sure. Well, let me start off by asking you, as a player from a long time, and you take breaks when you're not feeling it, you'll take a break and step away and come back like we all do. What do you think when you see all this like laid out as a returning player or as a continuing player? Like what did you think on this list that you'd never see, or like you didn't expect to see, as far as like a rework or a reimagine? Or
I am by far, they can give us new supers, they can give us new weapons, that I expect. What I am blown away by and cannot wait for, and I understand we had it in Dim before, but the loadouts,
having it in the game itself,
I think that's amazing. Like that's something that we've been talking about for years. One simple little change like that, I think, is huge.
And it's a change everyone has. Like every major MMO has it at launch, essentially, because they know, like, once you get through the content, the narrative, the the campaigns, the end game, the raid, what keeps a player in the game is their pet projects, like what they're working on, your build crafting. Maybe I can exploit something that comes out with, the Broodweaver on Warlock that maybe the devs didn't think of. I'm going to have fun with it for 3 weeks before it gets patched.
Yes.
That's the fun with the new cycle. It's like, what's broken? Let's have fun before the fun police come and shut it down. And, but yeah, it's,
not to skip to the very end of the video, but man, I got to say, like when they said that this is going to be the end of the Light and Dark saga.
Right. Yes.
I'm pretty, as someone who's been here from the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm kind of it's about time.
Yeah, it's been a long time in the making. And what I
cool
do
with it.
actually like, I mean, it was somewhat of a negative for how, you know, the crawl of time for the story of Destiny and it has to be that because there's so much to tell. People get mad.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 7 storylines. It's like, yeah, that's life. That's how life happens.
it
I have
is.
7 storylines going on at any given moment. It's like it all comes at you, and you have to deal with it as it comes at you. And what I thought was really cool with the way they left out, like you said, with the Light and Dark saga, is it really begs the question, and we don't have an answer yet, as far as I know, of can reality continue without light or dark or both?
And
What
if
is
it-
that?
if
What
it
are they
does,
doing?
What does it look like?
Are they so? I mean, it kind of you would imagine if without the balance of light and dark, your reality would just implode because there's
Wouldn't
no.
you think?
You would think without gravity things would change, right?
One
And the
would
darkness
think.
controls gravity, you know, very much.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those like it begs the question of what are we actually fighting? Are these gods, or are they godlike? Are they as good as gods? You know what I mean? Like, or are they playing God? You know, so it's a really cool concept that they've built of like we're still figuring it out. We don't know.
And
These
I don't
forces that
think that's a
dictate-
good point. I don't think they do know yet. I think that's something that they're still.
we didn't even know. Yeah, we didn't even know Neo Muna was there in our system. As far as I know, it's in our solar system.
Yep, I think so. Yeah.
So it's a really cool setup. It's like it seems lazy to say, oh, but there's a secret you didn't know about. By the way, this is over here. However, it's perfect because it shows how dedicated they were to staying secret, and what they have there is like the key to the kingdom. Like if the wrong person gets it, just like the Traveler, it's over.
Yep.
So my personal theory, and I was playing with Techie Spec, shout out Techie Spec, the new mission, and we were doing, you know, we watched all the cutscenes, and we were just sitting there like, what does that mean? Like it's really cool. We're in this cool space where it's all discovery, and it's not just sandbox discovery, power discovery. It's concept discovery. It's full of philosophical discovery, which is really cool.
Yep.
You know, but we're just a small bug, and everything else is happening around us, and we got to figure it out before we can, you know, attack. So pretty awesome. Oh, tip of the spear, you know, that's what
crack
that's
on
us.
my ass.
Yep, we're tip of the spear. So.
That's all I can think of.
Yeah, I just love that whenever there's a problem, Zavala is like, get in the gun, we're shooting you to Neo Muna, and you're gonna good luck.
That's awesome. I love the new supers. The supers look awesome.
They do.
That new grapple melee looks great.
The grapple melee is really cool. At first, I was a little wary of the trading a grenade for mobility, but when you do start to think about what that can mean as far as in the battle, like that can change a lot. As far as like just being in the right place is sometimes better than having the damage.
Oh yeah,
for a revive or for whatever. So yeah, like Broodweaver, you got the Hunter's chain. It's basically that chain with the spear at the end of it, which is really cool. The Titan, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see. What the Titan is just a lot of the same.
Everyone seems to be knocking that right now, right?
It's because it's the 5th time they've done it. It's the 5th super that you smash the ground, run around, and either freeze, detonate, tether, free. It's all the same thing. You're creating a bloom explosion, which every class does, and you have to physically be there on the front line, which means like in a GM Nightfall, you're gonna get lit up. You know, you're gonna run in, you're gonna Hulk slam, and then run out. That's what you're gonna do.
They've got to work out something new for the Titan. Everything involves the Hulk smash.
More personality. It needs personality. Like look at Thunder Crash. Everyone loved it. Even when it's not good, people use it. Like it's always good, but even when it's not at its best, people still do run it because it's fun. Same as the Burning Maul with the Titan. It's not the best super in the game, but it's fun, you know.
Well, the throwing hammers is the best part.
Exactly, and throwing hammers is like that's Titan right now. Like that's just what they do. Yeah, they bubbles.
Really,
okay, but
that's the most popular.
What's that?
That's the most popular right now.
I think it is for the healing factor.
Okay.
Morally Splendor healing. It's been nerfed, but it's still good. But like you look at the bubble, that's been nerfed. You look at I don't know. It's. But the nice thing is that Bungie's aware of it. They are talking about it. They are confident that it's not just going to be Hulk smash, and there's going to be something redeeming about it. Which fair enough. We'll see. You know, we'll try it. And I don't want to knock anything until I try it. Really.
And I'll be honest. I mean, we give Bungie a hard time a lot, but like one thing I'll say is they definitely do keep a great pulse on the community and they listen. So, you know, when they say they're aware of something, it's usually not something that just goes by the wayside.
No, not
it's usually something that they take care of. It might take them a couple of weeks for a patch, but
they'll buff it. I mean, if people aren't liking it, they'll buff it till it's absurd. It'll still be what it is, because to their point, you can't turn a ship on a dime like that. It shouldn't have made it past development, but you know, it's one of those like, can we come up with a different idea? Like it's Strand. It's the tether of life, and I'm hitting with it. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
I don't know. Can we not? Maybe I don't know. Yeah.
What's your take on Strand in general? You excited for it? What are your thoughts? You think
I think it's really
overpowered?
Cool. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's you know, like they said, it's easy to go poison, green poison. You know, that's easy. Corruption. You know, they did. You know, they can go corruption. They can go freezing. They can go. You know, they have all these cool options, which is nice. But the personality of Strand will come out in the source where we get it, which is Neo Muna. It's going to be the people that have it. Those people already have it. Like they've been using the darkness for as far as we know, 1,000 years.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like they're you know, in tune with this. So they're probably going to tell us a lot about it. Kind of like when we showed up at the tower, we were given a pamphlet on the Traveler. Like here's our dude. This is what he does. You know, like they're going to do that for us with the darkness, which is cool because we haven't really gotten a formal introduction other than lab notes in lost sectors and lore tabs and like that kind of stuff. Like, the darkness talks to us occasionally, but it's like, 3 times ever so far. I mean, it's, you know, it'd be cool to get some other NPCs perspective on what's happening.
Yeah, I'm both excited and nervous with Strand, and I mean, it comes down to when they released. Geez, now I'm blanking. What's the ice? The freezing.
Oh,
stasis. Jeez, I've been away from Destiny for a couple of months.
Yeah.
But it makes me a little nervous that it came out. It was great. It was awesome, right? Everybody loved it until you stepped foot into PvP,
right? Everyone
and then you realized that it was ability spam. It was hunters with the I can't think of what that was called. The dash. The Shatter Dive.
It took like 3 or 4 waves of nerfing before that finally figured out.
And they nerfed it and nerfed it and nerfed it. They nerfed stasis basically into the ground. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right. I just hope they've learned their lesson from stasis with a new, exciting new element of Strand, right? Like, I don't want it to come out, start off being a lot of fun, and then basically be unplayable in a month. They need to find that balance, and I hope they've learned their lesson with stasis. And I understand, like, a game like Destiny is unique in the fact that everything they come out with, whether it's a weapon or an exotic with a new ability or a new element, whatever it is, they have to balance between both PvE and PvP. A lot of games don't have to think about that.
Right.
So I understand the difficulty of it, and it's not easy to make something and say, okay, let's make this a lot of fun in PvE. Like, look at, for instance, the new pistol there. What was it? I put it on my notes here.
Oh, was that the
advanced tech that finds the enemies?
Yeah.
So like something like that sounds awesome in PvE for ad clearing, right? But in PvP, is that going to be a problem? You know what I mean? If you're doing a 6v6 Iron Banner, is that going to be an issue? Or is it
because we're going to have Spider-Man everywhere?
Exactly. So I think balancing is obviously very difficult for them. I'm cautiously optimistic that they're going to do it right, and they've learned from stasis, because Strand looks awesome, and I can't wait to play with it.
Yeah, it looks cool. I like that they're going mobility over damage, because we have damage. We have damage in the light. What we don't, what we get in the darkness is strategic. It's chess moves. It's I'm going to freeze that so it's not a problem, so I can go deal with this. I'm going to grapple and hook past that and deal with it from over here, from the safety of this cave over here. You know, it's all about getting that. You know, it's about playing smarter, not, you know, just punching everything harder. You know, which is, it's a really cool way you can, you know, just especially in, you know, things like GMs and Nightfalls, where you know, damage is just a matter of time. It's more about survival.
Oh yeah,
really cool.
So let's talk about the new planet.
Yeah, Neo Muna
looks amazing.
It does. It's got a lot of steampunk vibe, or cyberpunk vibes.
Cyberpunk.
What was that? There was a game, Infamous 2. There was a game on PlayStation called Infamous where you could choose with your, you know, good or bad or whatever. And in the second one, you went to a place very similar to this. It was like futuristic, like very black light, very like you know, very Neo Muna vibe to it. And seeing this place reminded me of that game. So it's cool that, you know, they're probably pulling from a lot of different sources to kind of make that vibe where it's the future, but it's classy. It's like nightclub future. You know what I mean? It's like
Dude,
that
arcade Lost Sector.
arcade Lost Sector.
How cool is that?
And this is a really great tie into your channel, Nerdstalgia, because it literally hits on that. Think about this, like we are so far in the future as far as these Neo Muda people are from where we in reality are. Like if you were to play that game, that mental game, like where we're going to be in that level of future. It's funny that they take that concept of like the whole, you know, just that nostalgia feeling of an arcade, but it made it thousands of years in the future, relocated to Neptune, and they keep it alive there as like a, you know, this was what humanity, like these are pre-collapse humans.
Yeah.
That we're gonna be talking. These are people who survived the collapse, the apocalypse. They survived the apocalypse, so it's gonna be cool to see.
That's awesome.
These are gonna be human humans. These are gonna be people that were born in Boston. You know what I mean? Like they could be. We don't know what their accents are gonna be. We don't. You know.
Yeah.
You know, they could have been born, you know, at current day if they got the light and survived. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty cool. It's a cool idea because we were taught, you know, starting the game that everything's lost. You're the last. Go help out. That's the you know. Yeah, really cool.
There's a lot of good stuff coming with the plan. I mean, we're obviously Callus's ship is back.
Yeah,
Callus has a little bit of a new look.
Yeah,
he's signed on to help out with the Witness. It looks like so. We're going to see more of the Witness and kind of figure out what's going on there. And I thought what was kind of cool is we got these new defenders of the city, Rohan and Nimbus.
Yes,
what are your
Rohan
thoughts
and
on
Nimbus,
them?
Cloud Striders. I want to make an early prediction. I don't know. It's not really based on much, but I just feel narratively it makes a lot of sense to get the Crow and Nimbus together because for all we know, Nimbus could be their Crow. He could be their outlier. You know, oh, they're ambitious. They get us into trouble.
He does look that way. The way she kind of described
She's
him.
precocious.
Yeah, it does. It does. I could see the similarity
She's
there.
precocious and she's easily misled. You know, what I mean? Like it seems like these are all very early, you know, predictions, obviously. But I think that would be really cool to have a little dialogue between those two guys, and you know, they can be, oh, that happened to me, this happened to you. You know, they can team up. They also go out of their way to make it apparent that Crow is, you know, with what we've seen, like he's just by himself. Like he wasn't standing down with the Guardians at the tower. He was just up watching the Traveler, just, you know, looking at this being that he feels like he knows and he does owe a lot to, kind of thing. Like it is his god. It might not be, you know, for everyone. You know, if the Traveler's over your city and you're not a Guardian, it's a cool thing. It's protecting you, but it's not giving you power. It's protecting you. But for him, it gave him power. So he, you know, he probably does feel a little bit indebted when he sees it kind of lift up. He's like, where you go, bro? You know, but, I like that he just puts his hood on and walks away, where he's like, on to the next adventure. Like, what are we gonna do now? You know?
Yep. No, that's cool.
Like you said, we got Callus coming. We got his ship. We got the what is this? I wrote it down here. We got Callus's ship. We got the Tormentors, the super beefy, basically champions, or you know, human killers, or let's see. Oh, and that's another funny point is Callus watches us destroy Rolk. You know, the disciple soul. So as far as we know, as far as we can figure out lore wise, every system gets a disciple to make sure that the darkness's bidding is carried out and total annihilation is carried out and all that. Callus sees Rolk fall from us, the one who, you know, dealt with all this stuff before. And then he's like, you know what? I'm the man for the job. I was just like this much too weak last time. Now I've got darkness powers. I'll see you on the court, you know, and he's going to like, you know, I think we're going to deal with him in the raid a lot. I mean, we know we're going to see him physically. I think we're going to get a cool cutscene in the raid. I think he's going to be in the raid.
You think so?
I've stayed completely spoiler free, but that's my hunch. I mean, I'm sure it's pretty obvious. I'm sure it is if you dive into all of the pictures and the videos. But like, we have to deal with this dude now. He's a disciple. Like he's being pushed at us like a queen in chess. Like, you know, we have to take it.
Yep.
We don't want to. Callus is kind of cool. He's a great character. He's an amazing like Star Wars-esque character.
And I hope this is actual Callus this time.
It is. It is.
And not a robot.
Yep, it is actual Callus, because in Harbinger we had that guy with that crazy name. Oh my god, what was that guy's name? Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on it, but it was for Dead Man's Tale. It was that mission at the end. Yeah. Basically, that guy, he saw Callus. He was the last Guardian to see Callus alive before he died at the end of Harbinger. And he described him as mottled and gray and kind of like a he was kind of like a blob dude sitting in like this sad like chair. He was basically on his deathbed essentially, and on his last plea, the darkness, basically took him in. And my guess is because it foresaw that Rolk wasn't going to stand up to us, and it's like, well, let's start setting somebody up now because that position can't stay open.
Yeah,
they're like a manager backfilling at the Costco. Like the flu's going around, we better start hiring.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the new guy there with the grab? What's he called? What's his name?
The new guy with the grab.
Yeah, he does that grab ability.
I don't know. Is it an enemy?
Yeah, it's an enemy. It's this.
Oh,
year.
you're talking about the tormentors.
Yeah, the tormentors.
Yeah, they're the next evolution of like the champion or like the.
That's
the
what
brig.
those are. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the next brig. It's the next tank. It's going to be a problem. You have to deal with it before you move on. It will.
Okay.
It'll sit there and just grab you one by one and just delete you. Like it's better than a light forged or lightborn hive, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're gonna drop those on us, and we're gonna have to deal with them. Basically, it's like a mini boss. It's just a more exciting version of dropping like a yellow bar on us, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
But I like
hopefully not as annoying as Overload champions.
Yeah, and yeah, and I'm sure as a returning player, seeing a new enemy to fight is new. I mean, it's new. It barely ever happens. It's
I'll be honest. I'm looking forward to it. I as we talked before, I was kind of on the fence whether I was even gonna continue on with Destiny, and man, this looks pretty exciting, and it's hard for me to say no to a new expansion.
When there's new, you gotta try it, right? And if you don't like it, that's the great thing. It's a game. You can just wait until it's better. If they patch some stuff, fix some stuff. If they take something
I can't quit Destiny. I can't quit it.
I can't quit you.
I can't quit
you. I miss your
step
musk.
away, but it always brings me back.
I miss your musk. Let's see if I have anything else here. I was just like writing a bunch of notes.
Yep.
Oh, might as well take a quick mention since we're talking about kind of returning players. People getting excited about the new expansion. We can talk about some of the sandbox tunings that are slated. Like we said, we have some concretes as far as timelines, but some stuff might be pushed. They've basically left a open ticket for, don't get too attached to things the way they are. We're going to be tuning stuff, changing. Everything is going to be new.
Yeah,
bear with us. That's basically the vibe. But yeah, like we have machine guns coming back are going to be really good. Next season, we've got, or during the expansion, we've got grenade launchers getting a 20% damage increase. So for things like explosive light, that's going to matter a lot. We got, ammo reserves for machine guns plus 50%. Like that's going to be huge. Like you can main a machine gun as your main weapon.
Okay, so they're really pushing.
They're pushing them because they're always good. They're always good and they're always fun. But like
they are
can't
fun.
Do the boss damage. You can't do the sustained damage unless you're doing like Thunderlord or something. It's just that so the ammo reserves will help it tremendously. It'll also push things like Titan into a better place with Actium War Rig. It'll force some changes as far as like your options. Like it's not just going to be explosive light grenade launchers. Prospector's going to come back. Yeah, they're pushing Prospector. So Prospector, a few of the exotics are getting the legendary weapon damage buffs that like the flat buffs, like grenade launchers are getting plus 20. All of them are getting plus 20, except for the exotics, in which case only I believe Prospector is getting it.
Okay.
Now when you go to like linears, they're nerfing linears. They want to get people away from all these amazing firing line, linears and stuff.
Yep.
So what they're doing is they're nerfing its effectiveness in PvP. Against armor value resilience 6 or higher. They're reducing that by a fair amount just to make one shots basically not as you have to really hit them in the head to put them down. But like Queensbreaker, that thing is still getting the buff even though it's an exotic, so that's going to get a buff. That one was more of a Queensbreaker is going to get a little more of a rework too. It's going to get some change to it. Ammo reserves by the machine guns by 50 is huge. The overall 15% nerf against this one was for the linears. That's a 15% nerf against the armor class thing. For PvE, Sleeper and Queenbreaker are both getting a buff. So so those you're going to see a lot of Queenbreaker in PvP. You're going to get a lot of Sleeper Stimulants in PvE again, I think. But overall, I mean the sandbox, like heavy weapon wise, is going to get better, I think.
And I'll be honest, man, like one thing I think Destiny's really gotten right over the last year or two has been their sandbox.
Yeah. Oh, they've put a lot of
It's
time
felt, you know, the reason why I keep going back to Destiny, you know, I have my gripes with, you know, with some of the content and, you know, sometimes it doesn't feel like they're bringing a lot of new.
Yeah.
But one thing that has always held true is the game feels amazing to play. And they've done such a great job balancing the game, whether it's PvE or PvP. You can pretty much bring whatever loadout you're comfortable with, whatever weapon you want, and you're going to be competitive as long as it's something that you run. You know what I mean? And you're good with.
Yeah, you
It's
might be
not like
100,000
you have to
damage
play the
lower,
meta.
but that's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
If it meant you
Yeah.
got to have more fun by running the loadout you wanted, that's more important.
Well, if you look at like DPS charts, which I know, I know you do. You look at you look at DPS charts, like the numbers are so much closer now than they used to be prior.
Oh yeah,
like back in the what was the exotic sniper that recluse and the grenade launcher Wendigo, Izanagi,
recluse meta. Like if it wasn't those, then it was in the trash.
You might as well stay home. Yeah,
Right.
you might as well just stay home. Don't go and don't step into the raid if you weren't running that loadout.
Right. Yeah. It was basically you showing your team you're not taking it seriously and you're going to waste
Yeah.
this time. It's basically what it, and that's unfortunate. The guy shows up with a sword against the boss, and you're like, I don't know, dude. I don't see it. And he's like, hold on. Just put a bubble on me. It's like I don't.
Oh my god!
If I have to put a fortress around you to use a weapon, it's a bad idea.
It's so true. Like, no, I think I'm gonna try this out, and we'd all be like,
just slide a bullet like a vest
Okay.
on him. You're like, just
Yeah.
put a flak jacket on before you go, just for me. I don't want to have to res you. I'm gonna have to go out there in the radial air and fluid and stand there for 3 seconds while I res you. You're gonna put the vest on.
I'm gonna be drowning in Vex milk.
It gives you that that parent feeling where you're like, it's a little cold out, buddy. Put a coat on. It's like that. That thing hits
No,
hard.
I think
Why
it's
don't you
okay.
get your-
I think I'll be all right.
Let's
You know,
put
like-
your resilience at 10, buddy. Just
Yeah.
I'm worried about you. I'm worried about your light.
Yeah. Well, you go to the you go to one of the parks, right? And you ask your 3-year-old, like, hey, you want the stroller? I'm gonna bring the stroller. I can push it. No, I'm good. I'll walk. 5 minutes in, they're like, I want to sit.
Yeah.
It's like,
Then
oh,
they drop their
okay.
apples in the sand and then sit down on
Yeah.
the ground. You're like, well, you're sitting in the apples. I mean, you have an entire earth, but you had to sit on the apples. All right. No, you do you. I mean, we'll wash your clothes. Not a big deal. Brush the ants off. You can eat a few if you want. They just got apple in them.
They
They're not going
probably
to hurt
will.
you. They're not going to hurt you. Yeah.
No.
Really excited. This is really cool. I like having it in that condensed package. They're like, all right, this, and then you can basically pause it, rewind, talk to your friends about it. Like, it's really cool.
Oh yeah.
Were there any other talking points or like little pieces that as a returning player, you're like, oh, when did this happen? Or that doesn't sound familiar. When did they talk about this? I know weapon crafting came up.
Yeah, so they mentioned build crafting 2.0. I'm assuming there is going to be some tweaks to the way we craft weapons also.
Yes, so they're doing a
Okay.
huge quality of life improvement on weapon crafting because the idea is great and we do need it. But
Yeah.
they're going to drastically minimize the amount of resources we need as far as like different currencies. They're getting rid
Are
of a
they
lot of
changing
different
the way it happens at all or no?
a little bit. So, well, actually a lot of it, but most importantly, right now, if a weapon is not craftable, it can still drop with that red border because the idea was that you would use it and then take the resource off of it and then put it towards the next thing. Now, if a weapon is not craftable, it will not drop without a red border. Meaning when you get a red border, that's a craftable weapon.
See, that was really annoying before.
Yes. Now,
Yeah.
and here's taking it a step further, because that would have been where you expect them to stop before. Now what they're going to do is they are going to you can make a weapon deep sight. So if it's a craftable weapon and it's not a red border and you're just having a hard time getting one to drop, you need one more, you can throw a bunch of resources, turn it into a deep sight weapon, and then dismantle it for the pattern.
Okay.
So you can fix your bad luck. Now they were upfront. It's going to cost you. It's going to be expensive, resource wise, but you
Still,
can do
just
it.
the fact that you can do it alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, like our buddy D Child. Shout out to D Child. He last night he went in and he did Master War Priest to get I think one of his last red border weapons.
Okay.
Or one of his craftable raid weapons, but like say he didn't get it, and so let's say the raid is falling off in popularity, he might never get it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a way to be like, all right, I'm gonna farm up, save up some resources, throw them into this thing, get my final one, and then go level it up and get it ready to go.
Yep.
So that's a huge, so many people were stuck at 4 out of 5 patterns.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Weapon
I
crafting
love
is going to get an overwork. It's going to get just easier and more intuitive. They're getting rid of currencies around the board, around the game.
That's what I did see that, and they've been kind of working towards that for quite.
Yeah, they've been paring it down.
Yeah.
They are going to. I was playing with Techie and D-Child last night actually, and we were talking about things in like when a new season comes out, like something that's a key that you use a chest at the end of, like for example, like the Seraph keys or whatever.
Yep.
You know, but they used to call them something like resonant, whatever. They would call them something weird. You wouldn't know what it was, and then so now they're going to have the word key in the actual either name or description, so you know when you're going to a new season, this is the key mechanic. I put it in that chest. Like you know exactly what to do. It's not going to be this big Google of or just guessing. Like, oh, I'm assuming this is my, my umbrals or whatever. You know what I mean? Like 'cause they always have a different name, but it's always the same purple.
Yeah.
It's the copy and pasted, sandbox or the seasonal thing. But so they're going to be more upfront about like a new currency. They're going to make it obvious what it is. And it's going to make a little more sense for a new player because we know the system, we know the deal. The new players, the people coming in right now, like today, getting ready for the new stuff. They're not going to know what a lot of that means unless they spend a lot of time Googling. And to your point, you want to do everything in the game. You don't have to go to third-party sources, the internet. Like you want it all to be tooltips. You want it to be build crafting in the game, like that. It should all be in the game.
Yes, I agree.
So
I agree. I'm looking forward to it, man. I mean, I've been away for really almost 2 seasons. I mean, I kind of dipped my toes in a little bit last season, but I don't think I've played it all this season.
We did some duality. We did some last season. We did some duality stuff. Yeah. This season, I haven't played I'm only level or season ranked like 85-ish right now. I'm not even
okay.
But it's more of like, I know this next stuff is coming out. I'm going to play it a lot. So I'm going to take some time off when there's not much going on.
Yep.
However, this season's finale mission was really good. The dialogue is incredible. Like the lore, the stuff with Rasputin. I mean, they're nailing it. They're nailing.
I still haven't played. I'm gonna try to do that because we have until the 28th, correct?
You have until you have a little while there, and plus some of the season stuff you can do after the season's over technically. So you can still get the narrative stuff. Yeah. A lot of good dialogue between Osiris and they're doing a really good job, and they're delivering on tying up a lot of loose ends that people were worried about lore wise, and it's been cool and actually fun. It's just those in between weeks where you have to all right, I'm gonna step away, play something else. Some news comes out, you get excited, you jump back in. That's just the cycle, and that's good. It's a healthy place for the game to be in because people don't get burnt out. People are less critical of a game that they're not spending all of the time on.
They don't have to put every hour of every day into it. Where it's nice to have, like I remember back in the Forsaken days, you'd almost be overwhelmed with the amount of stuff you had to do, and it was great. I wasn't complaining, but if you missed a week or you
fell behind. The FOMO is real. Yeah,
it felt like coming back to work after a long vacation and just having like a pile of folders on your desk. Like that's what it felt like. So I agree with you. I think there needs to be somewhere in the middle. I think they're a little lacking on overall seasonal content. I think it dries up too soon. So I get
and it's heavily Eververse too. It's so heavily Eververse. It's like, yes, it's amazing stuff. You can't earn any of it.
You want a break, but I think there's too much. I mean, there were times I could remember pretty much being done and kind of being good on the season, right? Like, oh, okay, I'm GM level. I've got everything.
Get all your resources out of the season pass. I'll see you guys.
Well, then you look and you're like, so this new season must be a couple weeks away. And it's like 58 days. And you're like, huh.
And then and then you go on your Steam wish list and you're like, I'm going to try this. I'm going to play this for a bit. But, to our original point at the beginning of the video, what keeps you in the game is your pet project. And that will all get easier when there's sandboxing, there's, new stuff to test out. Like those weeks that just that you kind of just take off in a regular season. Will go away when you have an expansion and a season that comes out of around the same time. That's going to be your next couple months. It's a lot, and it's supposed to be a lot. You're not supposed to grind everything every day. You're supposed to do it in chapters. If you got a 50-step quest, do 3 steps, do 10 steps, and then come back to it later. But that's all more of a however you like to digest the game and binge it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts for you?
I'm just kind of reviewing my notes in case anything got missed. We went over some of the sandbox tunings. Those are all going to get, more in depth as time goes on. And I'm sure Aztec or somebody will make a nice chart to put it all in order. Once we have actual, dates lined out.
Oh,
Talked
yeah.
about the subclasses. Yeah, Titan, Warlock, and Hunter. We got really, my only question at this point in the story is, like we're talking about, where do we go? What do we do? Who's the enemy? Who are we fighting? Is it, it's called Lightfall. Like, we know something happens. Things don't necessarily go as planned. Maybe we don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Are we
Destiny's
gonna see the end of the Traveler?
maybe, but it might be for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the darkness, the high sword logic is all sword logic. The Traveler's bomb logic.
It's
bomb logic isn't always passive.
It's true. Yeah.
Your hands on that trigger. What do you? My hands over here. The what do you call the what's the dead man switch when you if you let go? Do you know?
Yeah.
What's that? It's a spring.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
It's like a dead man switch or something. Dead man switch.
Something like that.
But it's you don't want to have to use the bomb. You know what I mean? Like that. It's a backup. It does these other things. It affords you this bargaining chip. Like, we have the light, we have the Traveler. We're not even sure what it does. To your point, like, it might explode, it might just radiate, it might shield. We don't know what it does. We don't know what's on the inside. Yeah. Aztec Ross made a really funny joke about maybe that's where the Destiny Vault is, and if that's the case, we need to explode that egg, that pinata. And
can I just say I love Aztec Ross also?
Oh, he's so funny.
If on the off chance that he ever watches this, shout out to you, buddy. You're my favorite.
Oh, he definitely watches
my
this.
favorite Destiny streamer.
Yeah,
by
he's
far.
so funny.
He's so good. Best videos. I watch him exclusively for all the Destiny content.
He does a great job of what are the players feeling? What is the company feeling? He does a really good job of this is it's easy to get mad and say this game sucks and just flip your table when something's going poorly. But what's hard is look at it from their point of view. Like, what are they dealing with? What challenges? What's the economy doing? It's there's going to be bad times. There's going to be good times, and I think we're the closest we've ever been to another Forsaken as far as things to do, reveals, plot points, super changes, all these things. It's an exciting time that we don't get often, really. We didn't get it with Season of the Haunted, or the haunted stuff. We didn't get it with I think whenever Callus shows up, things are happening.
That's true.
He's the man.
He is. I love Callus, and then that's my favorite raid of all time is the Leviathan. So
he's such a great. He's the closest you can get to a cool Darth Vader character without ripping off another franchise. He is his own very specific type of creature.
He certainly is.
I actually wrote down because he's a Cabal, it's all might and military might, but then he's over here collecting things and drinking honey. It's he's these are good. It's Callus, that stuff's good. That's why you have to pillage the cosmos for it. It's but are these things not best? You're no, they are, but we do have other jobs, Callus. You can't just sit around drinking wine.
Drink from his chalice.
Yeah, he's just shoving his Leviathan orb mechanics up his nose and drinking wine. He's what is he up to? But I actually wrote here, when did Callus forget that balance is important? So, for example, if he's picked a side on, he wants to be the last. His vision. He wants to be the last set of mortal eyes that see the universe before it dies. Basically, that's his goal. So he's picked a backer. He's a very smart creature. He's very intelligent. He actually is more intelligent than he has military might typically. And I wonder what his thought process is. Maybe he's just mentally gone at that point. He's not thinking rationally. He just wants power,
or he's got a lot of pressure from the witness for whatever
he
reason.
could have signed a bargain, and now who knows?
That's kind of where I think that's going. I think the witness has something on Callus, and that he's giving him some kind of pressure.
It could be.
It does seem a little out of character.
And does Callus fold to it, or is this, or does Keitel make a play during the story to make one last appeal to her father, and maybe Callus fights back at the very end and redeems himself? We don't know. I mean, so many things can happen.
There's so many things.
The stage, it's literally all the players came out and they bowed. The stage is open, and we just have to see what they're gonna do. And really, as far as big story points go, they don't usually let us down.
No,
there's usually a reason, or they seem like they're letting us down, and then 2 months later something happens. You're that was a huge setup.
Yeah.
For example, I was telling you the other night, the end of the last video that they posted, it's all there, but the bite video, they were talking about showing the cutscenes and what does this all mean when the Traveler picks up and all that, and then they show the box art from Destiny 1. And it's that picture. This cutscene happened 10 years ago. That's
awesome. Well, we're approaching the 10-year anniversary now.
Exactly. So it's like we now know that all of this is laid out. So it's like the big points. This is all like a D&D campaign laid out, basically.
Yeah.
But you just have to show up and play the game and trust that you're going to get a story.
Yep.
And you do. We do. We always get a good story.
We do. The lore in Destiny's always been top notch. It's just, I want more. I want more of a reason to play. I want more a more immersive experience.
Yeah. And cutscenes.
Give me it
They're
all.
expensive.
Yeah.
They're expensive, voice actor wise, you know, to render, to do all these things. But like, that's what we want. We want to see these characters. Like, when you read a book, you imagine the characters. When you have a video game, you see them. Like, you need to keep seeing them. You can't just say Callus says this and does this. It's like, show me that. Show me Callus. Like, you know.
And give me a Callus action figure, goddamn it.
Dude, if NECA makes Callus or anything, I'm getting one. I don't care if it's
I would love for them to do that. I think McFarlane made them before, but the line didn't do well. I think they only came out with like 1 or 2 waves of figures. They look great, but give me more.
Well, Destiny loves merch. They love their merch page. What if at the end of the Light and Dark saga they make a really beautiful like vinyl traveler?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Callus, like the big players, the cast, the supporting cast of the story thus far, as like I don't know, like $100 or whatever for a very good detailed, not huge, just like a little desktop or something that you can, has that detail. And exactly. That'd be really cool. It'd be a cool way to have that like trophy of like this was the Red War, this was the darkness, this was the fall of the trap. Like, it'd be cool to have those little like on your shelf, like, and if you see over here, son, this is back when the Traveler gave us all the answers, and then over here is where he just left, and
it's true.
But
well, I'm excited. February 28th. I think what I'm gonna do, and I will keep everybody posted. Obviously, everyone who joined in and watched the video today, make sure to follow us at Nerdstalgia Pod. We have a Facebook group dedicated to just nerding out all day and all night, basically. And what I'm thinking of doing is I think I'm going to do a day one stream of Destiny. I think I'm going to jump on and stream on YouTube Live and Twitch.
First impression stream, just like
first
around, what's this do, what's that do?
Yeah, why not? Like, give me a reason to kind of jump back into it, and I definitely want to.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
for
go
all
ahead.
the poor souls that can't get the day off for when it comes out, they can maybe wait till their boss goes out to lunch or whatever, and just put on the stream and see, just to see it. It's one of those like,
if you want to see a dad playing Destiny that is terrible at the game, that you can make fun of. Right. I'm your guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not esotericing. I'm not.
No.
No. I'm going in with the dead man switch. Like, hey guys, want to see a bunch of damage? Watch. It's one of those plays where you go into the Nightfall and you're like, I'm gonna need a res in like 3 seconds. Just like things will be fixed, but I'm gonna
I love it. Any final thoughts from you, Dan?
Not really final thoughts. It's more of Nerdstalgia. Like, come hang out. We're gonna be doing stuff. I mean, if you've watched this video, this is for you. It's gonna be everything. If you like video games, all that stuff. So,
and we're gonna kind of have it. We're gonna have. I think Nerdstalgia is kind of the overarching brand. I mean, that's gonna be. That's pretty much all encompassing with everything we love in life. We're going to have kind of a gaming piece to this that's going to be more dedicated to stuff like this, like Destiny, Fortnite, Elden Ring, anything you can imagine, anything in between, World of Warcraft, you name it. So we're going to have kind of different legs of this overarching umbrella here.
That's great.
I don't know. I had never heard of a leg of an umbrella until now, but that's what
maybe they wouldn't fold up and blow away so often.
That's where we're going to go.
Let's improve.
Yeah.
That's a good point, because it's anything these people, whoever wants to tune in, talk. And if you see something, you want to talk about something, drop in the comments. If there's a topic that we just blatantly ran past and you want to talk about, bring it up in the comments.
There's nothing I won't talk about.
This is 2023. We have our devices with us all the time.
Yes.
We might ignore them, but they're with us. We'll talk to you, and it's a great place to hang out and share your stuff. And you're not gonna, this is a informal, like you say. It's just no one's gonna make fun of you. No one's gonna if you bring something up that's already been talked about, no one's gonna jump down your throat. Like, it's just come hang out, and that's what we're here for.
Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate you joining on today, Dan. You've got a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Destiny. We've been playing for a long time, but you've always been more in tune with the devil's in the details, and you've always been up the devil's ass when it comes to
that.
Yes, I have.
So. Yeah, that's where all the good stuff hides. That's where the devil's corn is.
You've been teaching me Destiny since day one. Even on the weeks or days where I would put more hours in than you, I still knew about 5% of what the knowledge that you had. So I appreciate you bailing me out on the stream, and being here to kind of break everything down. It's a pleasure having you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more with Destiny now that it's exciting again and it's coming back. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, again, at Nerdstalgia Pod on all the socials. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you on Monday night, every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Nerdstalgia Live podcast. We will see you there. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and have a great day.